What's up, dads? It's me. I'm making this video 99% for the Patreon subscribers who have been there for so long and supported us and give us so much love and support. And me, without the words, probably ever, to be able to thank you for all of that, Excuse me. Um, and I'm just sort of making this video to kind of make some things known. I think from the outside, it's probably pretty hard to be able to tell what's going on with this channel and what's going on with us and that kind of thing. We just came off of doing PAX West in Seattle in September. And, we've kind of did some talking and did some organizing and kind of figuring out where things are going. And the thing is, I feel like in the past I've been terrified of doing like a state of the mariachi video because I hate. I had gotten into that practice of going like, well, the future of the channel is bright, and we're gonna be doing such great things, and I kept feeling like I was, and I've said this before, I kept feeling like I was making promises and just not delivering, and so I have a lot of shame there. I have a lot of shame personally for my shortcomings as a director and my shortcomings basically in every facet of managing this channel, especially shortcomings in terms of how I address Patreon subscribers and people who really care about the channel. And I know that there are some of you out there, and I know that you've enjoyed our work, and I really do. I really appreciate it. I mean, you all have facilitated things for us that most musicians just never get to enjoy. I'm a musician. Most of my friends are musicians, and I cannot count, but on one hand, maybe some of the ones that have gotten to achieve some of the notoriety and accolades that we have been able to enjoy. It's amazing, and I don't take that for granted. I do take that for granted. I take it for granted in the sense that I do not express my gratitude in the right way. And so, on this occasion, again, I'm kind of speechless and kind of, a little bit terrified. But you know, maybe some of you that have been out there, you've been watching the vlogs that I've been doing. And, basically what it's come down to, before we get to those vlogs, which are whatever, the Mariachi MES, we've been doing it for, oh God, maybe 7 years or so, maybe more. I can't remember what year we started. I think we started in 2015 in April, in late April. And so that would make 7.5 years or so. And I think I started at a funny time in my life. Back then I was recently married, and I had no children, and life was a lot different. And I think anybody that knows, when you get married and when you have kids, a lot of things change, and that's just me, right? Like that's just kind of me. That's not even speaking for the other members. In those 7.5 years, life has changed a lot, and making content has become harder and harder and harder. And it was hard enough in the beginning. It was one tune a month in the beginning when I didn't have much to do, or sorry, when I didn't have so much commitment. That was hard then, and now it's just become this process that is so, boy. Yeah, maybe it takes the same amount of time. Maybe it takes the same amount of time as it always did, but I had more time then, and I just don't have it now. I barely have time for this. I feel awful about the quality of this that I'm recording on my phone. So anyway, where we're going from here is basically that, personally, I'm at probably the lowest point in my life, emotionally, and also physically and medically. I'm at a very, very low point, and the truth is that I always comported myself as a creative, and I've taken on a lot of projects, and I've taken on a lot of work, And finally, I just bit off more than I could chew. I bit off more than I could chew, just kind of in life. And now I'm sort of stuck. Um, and MES being one of the things that I have bitten off and that I cannot, my eyes were too big for my stomach. And I know that people will understand, you gotta take care of yourself, Dave. You gotta look after yourself. You're number one, take a break. I know that people will understand that. And I appreciate that. But I think it's also important just for people to know, for the people that care to know, um, that my intention is basically to completely put MES way on the back burner. We have some things, there are some things I still want to do. There's a lot of things I still want to do. There's a lot of tunes that I want to do, and that's just an endless list of things that I want to do. But without saying too much, because again, I hate making promises, I have condensed that list into like a very, very specific type of list. Um, and also, I've become a little bit disillusioned with MES because of some experiences that I had recently. I think, namely, that I started to see just how, and you can argue with me on this all you want, but just how mediocre our execution has been. And I mean that as a direct reflection of me. I think our arranging, which is basically me, it's abysmal, and it's I feel like it has no place anymore in its current state. And so either I want to improve on in that, and I've been I didn't realize that for all these years I've been spinning my wheels kind of with the same formulaic approach to arranging, and it's not working. It cannot work that way anymore. I'm gonna have to develop, and learning sort of recently, seeing, having my eyes opened, and seeing just how far we are from really executing at a level where I think we could be executing, where we should be. And it all falls on me because we have great players. We just don't have great direction. We don't have great organization. Um, and that's, a lot of that has to do with me spreading myself thin, doing so many things, right? Um, all the mixing, mastering, arranging, all the stuff that every other YouTuber does by themselves. I'm just not the type that's cut out for it. I'm finding out. So for that reason, and also culturally, like, I saw this trumpet player, Elmer Churampi. He's from Peru, and he's a classical trumpet player. And you know, I always thought of MES as being like a jumping off point. Like I always thought, or like a sort of like an on ramp. Maybe it was a better word. Like an easier way for people to access mariachi. Like people who otherwise couldn't understand it could hear this and be like, oh, like this makes sense, right? Of course. But going back to Elmer Churampi, what I noticed about him was that this guy is from literally a hole in the ground in Peru. You know what I mean? And this guy plays classical trumpet better than anybody his age. He's like in his early 20s. And now he's at a conservatory. I want to say he's in Boston, but he plays for every youth symphony, and he's just regarded as, with all this reverence. And the only thing that I could think was just like, man, what a shame, because the music that he was playing with his dad in his country, like their music, is worthy. And there are worthy musicians in his country, in his town, in his hole in the ground where he's from. And there are just totally worthy musicians, but they aren't noticed because because it's that kind of music. It's not classical. But as soon as like he plays classical trumpet like a mother, well, then he's out there, right? They've got him out there, and just please come and be with us, right? And it's like, and then his story is amazing. Wow, he's from nowhere, and look how amazing he plays. Well, those people from nowhere tend to play amazing. They're worthy. You just gotta, you know, you gotta care. And so, whereas at one time I saw MES as sort of like this on ramp, this accessibility point for people to understand mariachi, um, well, I started seeing it as just like, well, traditional mariachi is worthy, and I was feeling like I had gone too far away from what mariachi is, just to sort of like, maybe get views. I'm not even sure. I know that I'm confused about it, and that's another reason why I'm just sort of like, I need to take a step back, and so I'm gonna take a step back. I'm taking a huge step back because my life is in such disarray. This is I don't know if I've said this already, but I've never been so unhealthy physically, medically. I've never been so unhealthy emotionally in my life. Um, and while I know that taking a break is good for me, I also sort of I'm trying to take life by the horns, and that means my vlogs, the vlogs that I've been doing about my workouts. Let me tell you something. I hate working out. I hate showing up and I'm counting down the seconds to when that workout ends, and then I'm discouraged from going the next day. But I have to lose weight because I have a son that needs me, and he needs a healthy dad. And I'm at that age where, man, I hate to say it, but I have friends my age that are dying. They're dying of health complications. They're dying unexpectedly. And I guess what I'm seeing, and some maybe people younger than me already know this about life, but I'm just learning it. How indiscriminate death is. How indiscriminate death and suffering is. And it will, it's coming. It's coming for everybody, and I no, I'd rather be healthy. I'd rather not court death right now, in this way. I would rather court life. As down as I am, as depressed as I am, as heartbroken as I am all the time, I would rather court with life. And I would rather court with the idea of being a dad for my little boy who's just the world to me. Um, so that having been said, I'm sorry if you don't like those vlogs. I really am sorry because you helped us to get to a certain point, and you helped me have a channel that allows me to do live video. But it's the only way I can make it through my workout without counting down the seconds. And I have to work out a lot of my mental health stuff, and I have a lot of experience and a lot of I have a lot of insight on mental and emotional health. I've been wanting to get it out there. This is a creative endeavor that is important to me. I don't know how to do it the right way yet, because me just talking is not never a good thing. But I'm gonna use it for that because again, I'm sorry. I know you guys came here expecting one thing, and I know that you were not expecting that thing, and you're not paying for that thing that I'm doing now. But I have to survive, and I have to do what it takes to survive, and I just have to rely on the fact that everyone will be okay without MES for a good while. I know everyone will be okay. Um, there are far more important things in everyone's life, and there should be. There should be. Um, but again, uh, I'm sorry because I have fallen so short in so many areas. There's people that I still owe merch to that I need to mail out, and I haven't. And there's no excuse. There's no excuse. Um, I'm going to tie up those loose ends, and I'm going to tie them up the right way, because you people are owed, and I'm going to do that, before I take my break. Um, but anyway, this video has gone on far too long. I'm sorry that it's not a happier video. I'm sorry I'm not happier. I'm just terrified. I wasn't going to explain anything to anybody, but I started seeing the comments on my vlogs, and how much people don't appreciate it. And I'm ambivalent because on one hand I'm telling you guys, like, I don't care what people think. I'm gonna do what's good for me and what I gotta do to take care of me. And on the other hand, like, I'm worried about what people think, because It does. It hurts. Um, I don't know. I guess I know people like that too. Like one of the guys I follow is Boogie 2988. A lot of you may know him. That guy's another guy that he's really like he's changed a lot, and I think people change. People change with life. He's gone. His whole life has been real public on the internet. And the thing is like I don't blame him because YouTube is not life. You know, um, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you think it is. YouTube chasing that algorithm is not life. It shouldn't be life. Um, doing what's right for you and what's right for your family and the people that love you and the people that are there for you is the right thing. So anyway, I guess to wrap things up, it's already been too long. I'm gonna tie up those loose ends, and MES will undoubtedly do some things in the future. I can't say when that is. And it could be soon. It could be sometime soon. It may not be. It probably won't be. And so if you're a Patreon subscriber, I'm hoping I'm not charging anything. I don't think I'm going to be charging anything in the near future. Even if we do make something, I'm not going to be charging money for that. Um, and I do want to try to help make right by all of you that have been there for so long. Fusion Warrior, everybody knows Fusion Warrior. Man, John, I love you. You've been far too kind to us. I think that's really all I can say. I hope that if you reach out to me, um, that you feel like I'm gonna respond because I want to. It's been so hard, you know. In the meantime, I'm just gonna keep doing my vlogs, and I'm sorry, but I love you guys. Thank you for everything. Peace.